Now, Spaza shop owners are pleased with the government's extension of the registration period to February 28th, following a 21-day period that ended on Tuesday. The move comes as government ministers address food-borne illnesses and illicit trade issues. Minister of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, Velenkosini Hlabisa, joins us to discuss this. Minister, very good evening to you. Thank you so much for your time. The registration deadline has been extended. Let's perhaps speak a little bit about the challenges you have especially grappled with in KZN, which have resulted to this extension.
Good evening, Mpho and the viewers of SABC Channel 404. The government, after considering the report in the meeting we had yesterday evening with all MECs for CoGTA as well as economic development, we considered that one, the call by the president for 21 days to formalize the Spaza shops and other food outlets that are taking place in our communities was done in the face of a crisis when we had children dying out of the food-borne illnesses. We considered the report and noticed that, thanks God, the death of our children did not continue as it had escalated by the time the president addressed the nation. And when we look at the number of applications received, which is above 40,000, and those approved above 19,000, and also noting that people were still on the queues yesterday wanting to register, and listened to their plea for the extension, we then recommended to the president, and the president agreed to the extension to end of February. The challenges, of course, throughout South Africa, but especially in KwaZulu-Natal, Gauteng, Free State, where the prevalence is most in terms of death of children, including Limpopo, is a number of the outlets that sell illicit goods as well as expired material. As a result, 1,041 Spaza shops and food outlets that has been shut down over a period of 21 days. And this program is going to intensify as the extension has been done up until end of February.
So does this extension mean that for those who are yet to register, does it mean that with the extension they remain operational, thus risking the lives of vulnerable communities?
This means all Spaza shops and small food outlets in the country will continue to operate as it has been up to yesterday. But what it means more, there will be heightened vigilance in terms of door-to-door visit to these Spaza shops and these outlets. Those that will be found not compliant in terms of health regulations, they will be closed down as it has been done. And by the time this period expires, we are hopeful that those who were pleading for extension will have applied, and if they submit all necessary documents, their small businesses would have been registered to be followed by verification. So now every business registered or still applying for registration are operating as we speak, as the extension has been done, but there is going to be a heightened inspection as there will be 520 health practitioners as environmental inspectors that will be employed to add more manpower to do the inspection, checking illicit goods and expired material, and also compliance to the health regulation by every Spaza shop or food outlet, handling outlet in our communities.
Minister, what are you hoping to achieve with registration? Because registration alone cannot necessarily reduce the risk factor in addressing the crisis of foodborne illnesses and the illicit trade of goods across the country.
It does, Mpho. This is a combination of many factors together. One, we will be knowing who is running a Spaza shop at Zone 1 in Soweto in street number 4. The information that we are not knowing, we will be deploying the environmental health inspectors to do the unannounced visit. The combination of material in a Spaza shop where you find Retex, Doom, sitting in the same place with the snacks that are not in a sealed pack is going to come to an end. This business of the Spaza shop and food handling outlet is going to be regulated. The Department of Health has appointed 15 experts who will give guidance how to ensure that not again we find ourselves in a challenge of the foodborne illnesses emanating from mishandling of keeping of goods in the informal trading, which is going to be formalized from now going onwards. So now this is going to be a solution in ensuring that we live in a healthy and clean environment in the informal sector, which is going to be formalized because every business, whether it's Shisanyama, or you sell apples or oranges, whatever that belongs to the informal settlement, a person will need to apply, get a license, comply in terms of health regulations. So this will be a new dimension in terms of supporting a healthy environment in terms of the small business economy in South Africa.
Okay, so you're saying that registration is only the first step. I would also imagine that a certificate of acceptability would also be included here, because when I ask about registration alone, there are other factors that embody what the registration process is about. Minister, before you answer, you've also issued a stern warning to those who may be registering businesses on behalf of undocumented migrants. Have you found such instances as this process has been unfolding?
Let's start with the first question, Mpho. The first step, make an application, fill the form, submit all required documents. The government officials at a municipal level will look at the form, and if they are satisfied, they will give an approval, and the business is being registered. When you have been registered, the following step will be verification. They will visit the Spaza shop or the place where you are preparing food for people at a taxi rank to verify the information you submitted in a form and the actual business side. If all corresponds, then it goes to you getting a certificate of acceptance that you can now operate as a formally approved structure or a business sector, which will be followed by a license. After that, other municipalities give the certificate of acceptance, but others don't do so. They jump to the stage of giving a license because both serves a similar purpose. Once you have then graduated to a license stage, you can apply for financial support out of the $500 million the government is making available for these small business people to ensure that your Spaza shop meets the requirements, the doors, the windows, ventilation, everything is providing a health environment. And what will happen thereafter? If, unfortunately, the information doesn't tally, the approval that has been given will be withdrawn. You can start afresh to apply and meet the requirement and go through the verification process. Then the second question of the people fronting.
Yes.
There is a general concern, and we requested people not to take law into their hands when they said South Africans are registering and they will be giving these businesses to foreign nationals. One information we said yesterday to our MECs, when we release the second batch of information in terms of statistics, we said each municipality must clearly indicate how many foreign nationals have applied and got approval, so that we confirm whether they met the three requirements. If you are a foreign national, you want to run business in South Africa, 1, you must have a business visa. 2, you must prove you have 5 million rand that you want to invest in South Africa. That money must be in a bank in South Africa, comply with SARS, comply with banking, as well as the proof of residence. That is one condition. Secondly, if you are an asylum seeker, you must be confirmed officially that you are an asylum seeker. Thirdly, you are a refugee that must be registered with immigration regulations that you are in South Africa as a political refugee.
Yes.
If you don't qualify in these three things, you can't run a business in South Africa. Then the South African cannot apply and then allow you to hire that business, because you are not allowed to run a business in South Africa if you don't qualify on those three instances.
Minister, very quickly and lastly, the majority of applicants are foreign nationals. You made mention of 15 billion rand cash injection that could be allocated for refurbishments. Who qualifies for that 15 billion rand?
R500 million per 500,000, not 15 billion
Oh,
rand,
pardon me.
We communicate correctly. Thank you very much, Mpho. A person who qualifies to make an application is a person who would have received the license approved by a municipality to run a Spaza shop or a food handling outlet. It should be the people of South Africa first. But if you are a foreign national, you must meet the three requirements I spoke about. If you don't meet those requirements, you don't qualify to get assistance out of the R500 million the government is making available. This money, in essence, Mpho, wants to give the small business control. The people of South Africa must reclaim the Spaza shop. As you know, the Spaza shop originally were run by the people of South Africa. Unfortunately, it fell away from our hands to other people. This is the time South Africans must reclaim this economy, because, for your information, the Spaza shops in South Africa and other food handling outlets, they run billions of rand on a daily basis, as they are the basic business running at a close range with our community. Unfortunately, it is not formalized, not regulated. This is the process we are doing so that this business contribute in a regulated manner, complying to health issues as well as municipal bylaws.
Okay, this is, I promise you, the very last question. When you say that there are 3 tiers of qualification for foreign nationals, is this a trick? Are you trying to say that on one end you say it's time for South Africans to reclaim the space as they did before, it's a lucrative margin, but you're saying that there are 3 tiers that foreign nationals can qualify for. Are you saying that the chances of foreign nationals qualifying under the three tiers are slim, therefore it's an opportune time for South Africans to then access that money and run these Spaza shops like they did before?
Indeed, Paul, it might be 0% for foreign nationals, because most of them, if not all of them, are not in South Africa on asylum seeking or as refugees, but they are undocumented people in South Africa. They won't qualify if they don't belong to the three categories. And to access the $500 million, if you said you are coming to South Africa to invest and you have 5 million in the bank, definitely I don't see why you should qualify in the $500 million, because in any way you have your 5 million rand that you want to invest in South Africa.
Yeah.
And I doubt there is any foreign national who will run a Spaza shop having a 5 million rand in his or her bank account.
Very well. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us this evening. We do appreciate it. Minister of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, Velenkosini Hlabisa.